Hey, what's happening, friends? Back here with my boy Clark Havai from Elite Pacific and Pono Properties, and I wanted to ask him about if you are a property owner and you want to get into either a short-term or long-term rental pool, and you're evaluating property managers. What should I, as an owner, be asking you? Because maybe I've never done this before, and I don't even know how to hire a property manager, what the right questions to ask are. So, what would your advice be for somebody like that?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different questions you can ask, and there's not a set list of questions that I could tell you to ask. But at the end of the day, you're going to be running a business, and whoever your property manager is going to be the person running your business, whether you like it or not. Because
it's good perspective.
Yeah. So you don't have eyes on the property. So number one thing that you want to do is find somebody you trust. And it's not easy to find out just from a phone call. If you can meet them in person, even better. I understand that that's not always the case, but just like you're trying to find a real estate agent, like Dylan and his team, you want to have somebody that you can trust. And a lot of that comes down to experience. A lot of it comes down to communication. A lot of it really doesn't stem on the actual service that we provide, because at the end of the day, property managers, we all provide the same service. Now, I say the same service carefully.
The levels can vary, right?
Carefully, because it might be the same service, but there might be different depths to it. So whenever I tell owners, I always tell them, compare apples to apples. Compare based on value, not on price. Because some people's booking reservations team might be the property manager that you talk to that also collects reservations, talks to guests, books them on your behalf.
And fixes the toilet when the toilet's
And fixes the toilet, exactly, at 11 o'clock at night. So in our case, we have a reservations team that's fully dedicated 7 days a week, takes all reservation calls, takes all of that off of our plate so that we can focus specifically on the property. Because at the end of the day, maintaining the property is almost just as valuable as collecting rent from bookings. Not necessarily rent, but even transactions, bookings. So any of that revenue coming in, at the same time, the big moneymaker in Hawaii is appreciation. Mm-hmm. So maintaining the value of the property is just as expensive and just as valuable. So make sure you trust that person.
Never thought about that. Yeah, they're protecting your asset, right? Your long-term asset, yeah.
And so it's just not just a revenue producing business. It's an asset that appreciates. So anything you can do to help maximize that is what you want to find in a property manager. So any questions that you have to ask personally to trust somebody should be what you're looking for. And every property manager has their own services. They all have their own sales pitch. Make sure what they're saying is honest, and make sure that you trust them personally. Everyone's gonna kind of jive with different people. It's not personal against me if you don't like me personally. If you do like me, I don't want you to pick me just because of that, but I want you to pick me because you actually trust me. So a good property manager won't just sell you, he'll actually tell you what you need to hear rather than what you want to hear.
And something that I always find really valuable that you do for our clients is give them projections, right, on rents or on booking reservation income. So tell me about that process. Like if I come to you and I just bought a condo at Bali Kai, like what do you do to tell me, hey, I think this is what you can expect in terms of revenue?
Yeah, so what I recommend to most people that are in the buying stage is find a realtor that's paired up with a property manager. Because from what I understand, from what I hear, every owner has a friend that has told them that their place can rent for this because they know somebody that's rented for this.
Yeah.
Everyone has that. I have that conversation just about every day. So when you have a realtor that has a property manager, you don't necessarily go into it blind. Because when you're buying a property, there's a sales price. But if you're using it as an investment property, you also want to know what you can get out of it. So a realtor that has a good relationship with a property manager, they can kind of join forces in order to give you exactly what you're going to be getting on the back end at the same time as when you're purchasing it. So all of those factors, any more information that you can have to make a buying decision is paramount, really, especially at such a high price point market like we're in.
Yeah, because I mean, a little, if you're off on the projections a little bit, it can be the difference between breaking even, making a profit, or losing money on your rental, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So any other advice for an owner that wants to get into evaluating property managers?
Yeah, just make sure you interview multiple. Even if I have an owner that comes to me and says, hey, I really like what you're offering. I'd like to move forward. I always recommend still look at others just the same way that I would ask for multiple bids from a plumber or an electrician. It's good to see what everyone else is presenting. And
so you feel good about the value proposition that you're choosing, right? I mean,
Exactly.
if you don't know what anything else looks like, if you never test drove 3 cars, you just bought the first one, you don't know what you're missing out on, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say, well, why don't you just take the business? And I want you to know that the value that I'm providing, you can see compared to what else you're seeing out there in the market. So if you only see one, you only know that one market. So same way you're with a realtor. Realtors are all good at different things, and they can provide different values in different ways. Always interview multiple, and you'll see which one really fits you the best.
I love it. Awesome advice. If you guys have any questions, I'll have Clark's information in the comments below, or if you need his contact information, he's easy to find. His name will be on the screen after the editing happens. So reach out to him and make sure you do your due diligence, because it can be the difference between a painful experience or a pleasurable experience in terms of who's managing your property.
Definitely.
Right on, man. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.